So personally, I think that all the hate that Supergirl is getting is unfounded. I can understand if some people thought it was just like mid, um, or good, like at least I did. But I've seen a lot of like people just it's just blatant hate towards it, like, and they don't even really have anything to back it up. It's just, oh, movie sucks. That's it.
Yeah, I watched it twice. I know you watched it twice as well, Miguel, but I watched it twice and once in 40X, once in Dolby. And both times I thought it was good. I didn't think there was many flaws. The soundtrack was good. The If you read the comic, I don't think you'd be disappointed even though there's a lot of changes because the changes they made were good.
Yeah, and that's what I've noticed. It's been very split on, like, especially comic book readers. A lot Some people really like what they did. Like, they thought that, they did justice to the comic book. And then a lot of other people, thought that it had nothing like with the comic at all. And that's where I'm kind of like in the middle. Cause to me, it it had the like the bones of it. Like, it had the journey, it had Kara, it had Ruthie, it had the whole revenge plot through it. I just wish, I guess we would have gotten a little bit more of the Woman of Tomorrow comic book feel. So like a little bit more of the colors, maybe more of the like weirder stuff. But I also understand that it's a less than 2 hour movie, so it's kind of more condensed. So obviously they can't fit everything that happened in the book in there.
Yeah, it's more condensed. They had to obviously cut stuff out, and but you know what? All the stuff that they cut out, Lobos makes up for it because I loved his character and every scene that he was in.
See, and that's another one that people are like 50-50 on, because some people loved Lobo, but people are also saying like he added nothing to it. And me personally, I think he added something to it, but I'll say it more when we get to like uh more spoilery area. But what's funny to me is, so on the second rewatch, so the first time obviously we watched it on in 40X, which was a fun time, honestly.
Yeah.
Even though I think I was a little sore afterwards. But on the second rewatch, I was able to enjoy it more because it was on IMAX. So I was able to like feel the emotions a little bit more, but also it also made me miss a lot of the stuff that they could have added from the comic, which again we'll get more into like the spoilery stuff. So initially I was like at a 7.7, 7.8, somewhere around there, like first watch, but I do have to factor in the adaptation stuff. And I know I said I wasn't going to, but yeah. So I think it's sitting at 7.4, 7.5 now.
Oh wow. I had it first watch, I had it a range between 7 and 8.5. Just because, recency bias, I wanted to let it settle in. And then after the second
Yeah.
watch, I settled in on a 8.1
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm not sure what was wrong with it. I thought every scene was good. Um, you could argue that, well, you could argue one or two scenes might be a little stretched, but I don't know what's wrong with it. And like I said, the music was really good as well. And it wasn't, I know people said it was James Gunn vibes. I didn't get that feeling at all.
Yeah, I didn't feel like throughout the movie, I didn't feel the needle drops affect me, obviously, until the last one.
The
That's the
last
one I
one.
think probably stands out to just about everybody because it's all over social media. Some people really love it. Other people hated it.
I thought it
But
was perfect.
you can't please everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, for me, like I said, I liked Supergirl. I thought it worked. It was a very great introduction to Kara for Supergirl. It's just, I think in the back of my head, I just wanted a little bit more, and like some more moments to really let like the emotional moments really hit, you know?
I can see what you're saying. And the book was more of a journey. Obviously because it was longer, like 8 issues, and
Yeah.
they go to more planets on the book, and you can feel. So it was hard to, I guess, uh, bring that journey across over 3 days. But I will say what they did get right is you could feel the relationship between Kara and Ruthie, which, by the way,
Yes.
Ruthie's actor, phenomenal. Because I thought Ruthie was more annoying in the comic than she was in the movie.
And I think it's because you spend a lot longer with her. So she's kind of more she's annoying longer in the comic than she is in the movie. Like she's less annoying for longer. Yeah, and I don't think she was as annoying as she was in the comic either.
I also felt in the comic she was fairly useless, and then in the movie she actually had moments where she was capable. She showed she was capable.
Yeah, especially like closer to the end,
Yeah,
pretty some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, so you say 8.1 is what you gave it?
I settled on an 8.1. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so spoiler free, like I would definitely recommend this movie if you haven't like gone and seen it, like especially if you're a DC fan.
Oh, can I add one thing? If
Yeah,
especially if you're a DC fan, you want to get invested in the DC universe. Um, it definitely adds a lot of world building to the
yes,
DCU because,
yes, it does.
obviously everyone knows Superman shows up, but and then Lobos makes an appearance. So, but the way Superman shows up, the scenes he's in, it makes the world feel more real and more whole.
Dude, I felt great every time he showed up. I'm like,
I
ah,
know.
I'm filled with hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like if you're a DC fan, like I just think you have to go with the right expectations because I do feel like some people walked in expecting this to. I've seen it where people have felt like this is going to be like another Superman in terms of like tone and everything, especially for like casual viewers, which is definitely not the case. Um,
This might be a hot take. I thought Supergirl was better than 2025 Superman.
really
Yeah, I enjoyed it better. I enjoyed the more realistic tone. It was a completely different tone, was what I liked. They're both
interesting.
good, but I thought Supergirl was better. It's only
Interesting.
slightly.
Okay, okay. That will probably be a hot take. You probably get some people in the comments for that.
But do you think at least they're on the same level? Like they're near each other? They're not too far off?
Well, considering I gave Superman like an 8.6 and
Oh,
Supergirl
okay.
like a 7.4,
Never mind.
7.5.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
have them relatively close.
I think for me, Superman, especially since it was like the first movie and we just haven't had a good interpretation of Superman in so long, like that Superman movie just did hit everything I needed. I needed it to be like it made me want to be like a different person by the end of it.
That's
Um,
fair.
yeah, but yeah, for the people that are wanting to watch this but aren't like sure about it, don't expect it going into this being like Superman. It's completely different tone. Supergirl is a completely different character. She's not a copy and paste of Superman. Um, Completely different person. And obviously, Lobo was fun. He worked, and Ruthie was great, like you said. The actress, she was phenomenal. But compared to the comic, I did want more. That's I think that's probably my biggest irk with the movie is I just wanted more, you know?
Well, okay. So with the comic, can we get into spoilers?
Yeah. So yeah, spoiler free again. Go see it. It's worth watching. Like everything's good. Don't let reviews um dictate whether you go watch a movie or not. Again, this is just our opinion. We thought it was good. Critics are saying, well, critic stuff. But go in, watch it, and you decide for yourself.
And there was no agenda pushed. In case anyone hates that stuff, there was no agenda pushed.
Yes. Now, from here on out, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers.
I know we're jumping around here, but one main thing I didn't like about the comic that I'm glad they didn't include in the movie was the whole horse, the
Yeah.
unicorn.
Comment.
Because
Yeah,
yeah, it felt like
I'm
such a get
glad.
out.
I'm glad they didn't add that because it would have just I feel a lot of like comic book readers, great. If they probably would have loved it, but casual viewers, they probably been like, "What the fuck is this? Like, where did this horse pop up from?" Because even in the comic, you're
Even in the
like,
comic, yeah.
he just pops up randomly.
He
So,
just it's pure random.
and we might get hate for this, we might get people agreeing, but yeah, I think that's a great change. I don't think Comet needed to be in the movie at all. It just made no sense.
And here's what I'll say. So in the comic book, Comet was used, he came out of nowhere as like an escape because I guess it felt like they wrote themselves into a corner and they needed something for Supergirl to escape, so they brought in Comet. Well,
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, there was a point where Lobos was used as an escape. However, they established his presence a lot earlier, his goal
Thank
and
you.
why he was there.
Thank you.
So,
So you got the same thing I did. Like a lot of people were saying Lobo was useless, but people keep forgetting that scene where
yeah, she's about to die.
she gets darted with kryptonite arrows
Yeah.
and she's about to die, and then Lobo comes and kills
Yeah.
the brigand, and she's able to like recover and fight off all the other brigands while Lobo's causing chaos. So I don't see why people said he was useless. He didn't add anything. He definitely did.
Yeah, I don't get it at all. Like it solves it does two things. Not only does it introduce Lobos to the DCU, but it also established a reason later on in the movie how Supergirl is getting saved out of this moment. Not like the comic where they never introduced the unicorn, why the unicorn was there. The unicorn just fucking appeared and saved her in a moment. And you're like,
Was it a
the
unicorn? Or
comics,
was it just a horse?
that was just a horse, I guess. But
Okay.
in the moment, you're like, the comic's so good, you're like, I'll accept that answer. But in the back of your head, you're kind of like, really?
Yeah, because
Whereas,
it's the
yeah,
comic's just weird. So you're kind of like, okay, cool,
yeah.
next. But yeah, biggest question though, do you think like Kara worked, like Millie as Kara, Supergirl? Do you think um she worked?
Oh yeah, like the actress.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I think every single casting was fine. Ruthie's casting in particular, I really liked, and obviously Jason Momoa was perfect for Lobos.
Yes.
You know,
I was about to say, and we had a buddy that was very um reserved, one about the movie. He thought he was gonna hate it. And two, he was also very reserved because he's not a fan of Jason Momoa. But we ended up all watching it, and I think, what did he say? He ended up giving it an 8 out of 10.
he gave an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, he thought it was a really good movie, and he actually loved Jason Momoa as Lobo.
Yeah,
So, like, he came in with all these expectations and then came with the complete opposite.
yeah, and that's the thing. You just got to keep an open mind. You're not going to get page for page the comic, and I think also I wouldn't want page for page the comic because it's not going to fit in with the rest of the DCU. You know,
Yes. Yeah, I was about to say, especially, um, I mean, let's talk about the ending here, because I think that's probably the biggest deviation,
which I liked. I ended up liking.
from the comic. Which again, this is another one that's very disputed. Some people really liked how the movie ended it versus how the comic did, but other people preferred how the comic did it because a lot of people thought that in the movie it kind of destroyed the meaning of the whole purpose of like Ruthie, the journey, essentially.
Now, I thought the same thing before I watched the movie. I thought, oh my God, they better not kill off Krem because it's going to destroy the lesson and the meaning. However, there's a crucial scene where they established that it did not change the lesson. Do you remember when Ruthie and Kara were waiting? They were basically getting tricked by the couple, the black couple.
Ah, yes,
And
yeah,
they were in the room and she was saying that, oh, Superman's young. Well, how is he young? He's 10 years older than you. It's because his heart. But people like me, like so and so, and like are ruined. Like, oh, she said people are ruined, like me, so and so, and then you. And but before she finishes you, she cuts herself off.
yep,
And because that moment she realized, well, hold on, she's not ruined yet. So later on, when we get to the end, Ruthie's like, well, you told me I'm ruined. And she's like, no, no, you're not. But you can do it if you want, but I'm telling you not to. So it was her own choice to step away. And Kara knew she was already ruined. So she ultimately killed Krim, which I think a lot of people are happy about that because of how evil Krim was. And it
yeah,
also shows how Supergirl is vastly different than Superman because she's willing to
Mm-hmm.
cross that line.
Yeah. Because so I mean in the comic, if you haven't read the comic, go do it. It's an amazing comic. Um like in the comic, Kara's restraint is like part of the message, the whole journey and everything. She's proving to Ruthie that like revenge isn't the answer. Well, answer. Um, but the movie kind of takes more like a more direct route. It like still works in the context of this movie. Um, but I will say it doesn't leave you with the same feeling afterwards like the comic did, you
I
know?
yes, it does not.
Because like
Um,
in the comic you're like, oh wow, okay. I feel like with the comic ending it lingers a little bit longer with you versus the movie. It's more like, okay, it happened, cool, moving on.
and you're right, that's fair. I think what made us rate it higher is because we read the comic and we knew the lesson. Whereas if someone who didn't read the comic and they didn't know the lesson that was being taught, I don't think it was portrayed as well,
Yeah, and
which
I,
is
I I
fair.
have heard people talk about that, like saying like, okay, if you've read the comic, um what it all entails in the end, really. But for people that haven't read it, this is obviously, I mean, they're going in and blind. They don't know what the
Yeah,
whole purpose of it is.
they
So
don't
in
know
a
the whole
sense, yeah,
purpose.
I could understand that. Um, but you know what I keep coming back to?
What?
So a lot of people keep saying that the Supergirl movie is its issue is the script.
Not
I
at
think
all.
I think to me it's more the confidence. And let me explain.
Okay.
Um, because like when I hear people say like the script is terrible, I don't agree with that. Like, does movie has it have its issues? Sure. What movie doesn't, Um, but my thing is, again, it's a more condensed interpretation of the comic. And there are some moments where like the transitions, like the cuts between some scenes are like rough, like they're very like hard. It's like, whoa. I don't know if you felt that way, but maybe that was just me.
Mm, no, I did not feel that way.
Yeah. But I think especially the people that I normally watch, like, and I mean, like Brandon Davis, Coy John Drew, Real Rejects, all those people that I typically like watch to see like what they think of like the movies, all that sort of stuff. I think they were reacting to how safe the movie feels compared to the comic. Because let's be honest, I mean, Woman of Tomorrow, it's like it's unapologetically weird. Like
That's a
it
fair point.
but the movie kind of pulls it back in a sense, like Barringer, where the Green Sun happens. It's kind of more toned down. Obviously, I was hoping my fucking dinosaurs would be in there, but there were no dinosaurs.
Hmm.
But I'm not gonna be mad at that because you can only do so much. Um, but
That's that is such a great point. It does play it safe, and I'm hoping they don't do that with like future DC projects like Mr. Miracle or Clayface, but I didn't
yes,
even think about that.
I was about to say I really hope they don't do that with Mr. Miracle because Mr. Miracle is as weird as
Yeah.
probably weirder than Woman of Tomorrow.
Mr. Miracle is unapologetically itself for sure. So if they pull back on that, like they did with Supergirl, that will be disappointing. But you
Yes.
know, that is a great point. It wasn't confident enough to be different.
It felt because if you notice, because again, on second rewatch, like I did notice, like for the most part, the majority of the worlds we saw were all the same color. Like it was very brown, aside from like the rest stop or like the bar scene and stuff like that. But everything else kind of seemed muddy, which wasn't bad,
Can I
but yeah.
can I stop you on the color thing? And I know people are saying that the colors were very muted compared to the book. The book was vibrant. But remember, we talked to the guy at the comic shop, and he said that uh, it's very hard for any movie to do like just those particular colors. Like even on the front cover, that shade of blue is very
Yeah.
hard to replicate.
And I I have a theory that I might
Okay.
be wrong on this, but I have a theory that they went that direction, a more toned down colors, because if they would have gone full like similar to Woman of Tomorrow, you probably would have gotten a lot of like, oh, are we sure James Gunn didn't direct this? Because like, look at all this. It's a lot. It's very colorful. Now it looks very Guardians of the Galaxy esque.
Okay. That's
So
fair.
I could see, and that's my theory. That's what I'm thinking. Probably why they went that direction instead of full blown Woman of Tomorrow vibrancy.
I could see
Um,
that.
but yeah, like visually, that was probably like my only like it kind of it looked a little Snyder esque, where it was very not bland. I wouldn't say bland.
Dark and gritty.
Yes, it was very dark and gritty.
Hmm.
Um, and again, I it didn't look visual. It visually it didn't look bad. It
It
was
did
just
not.
dark and gritty. I think a lot of people were also expecting a lot of color and vibrancy. I was expecting more worlds, or I should say, I was expecting the planets to be a little bit more distinct. I felt like aside from what was the aside from the war torn planet, which I think was Bilquis,
Yeah, I believe so.
um,
The one where they first introduced Lobos.
Lobo, yeah.
Yeah,
Aside from that one, I felt like the other planets had a similar feel.
they
Uh,
did.
they didn't really have a very distinct look, which I didn't like, but it wasn't enough for me to like drop the score down to a ridiculous like
Yeah.
5 or 6 just because of that. That's stupid. Um,
And being nitpicky as well, while we're being nitpicky, um, the bus fight scene, I didn't like it. Where
really,
yeah, where she stole the, you know,
the
invader.
teleporter.
Yeah, she stole the teleporter from the invader, and that's how it played out. I don't know, I just didn't like that fight scene. I thought all the other fight scenes were great though.
Really, I was about to say, the bus fight scene was probably like my favorite fight scene
Really? Okay,
because
maybe I'm
I
being
just
nitpicky.
no, I mean I could see why, but to me, I don't know. I think it's just because of like the weirdness of it. I
Hmm.
just enjoyed it. Plus, like the when she was outside, like in space, like flying and moving through the debris and like all this other stuff. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I really all the action sequences were great.
They were
I mean,
great. They were great.
or at least good. I really didn't
Yeah.
think any of them were bad. Like now, maybe the third act. Now that I did see it in IMAX, definitely had a little bit more. You could notice some like green screen CGI stuff that was kind of off, but
Hmm.
again, not enough to like really throw me out of it. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, that looks a little bit off, but continue.
There was one scene I was meaning to ask you about because I know when we first saw it in 4DX, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I remember the scene you're talking, which was when Krem was following the other kid
Yeah, the
that had
black girl.
escaped. Yeah. Up to the top, and then Ruthie was following behind Krem trying to kill him. And you had asked me why did Supergirl like stop
Because
Ruthie?
ultimately, Supergirl stopping her got that whole family killed.
Yes, which I have heard there's so much discourse and like 50-50s between a lot of this, and I think that's maybe why like the ratings aren't as great because there's just a lot of 50-50 splits. Which it's fair. Like if you didn't like a certain thing, okay, cool. Like it's not for everybody. But on second rewatch, Krem was turning around, and I don't think Ruthie was gonna actually be able to kill him. I mean, to me, it looked like Krem was just gonna be surprised, and then he was probably just gonna end up killing her. Um, I don't know what you thought.
So yeah, so second time, right. First time I didn't know if Krim was able to turn around and kill Ruthie, and then Supergirl saved her. But second time I realized, you know, Supergirl did probably save her, but why pick up Ruthie instead of just attack Krem?
That's the other thing I was gonna say because I actually saw this on Threads today, and I was just like, oh, why did that not like cross my mind at all? Like, why did?
Yeah,
And honestly, I have no answer to that. Like that, I guess that you would probably say was like that's a flaw right there.
that is a flaw. That's a
That is the
a writing flaw, plot
yeah,
flaw.
that is a writing flaw. That one I could for sure agree is because I just have no reasoning behind that. Maybe
Yeah.
there is a reasoning, but yeah, to us it just I don't know.
And ultimately it got that family killed. Like, and
Yes,
that's, now we're kind of not on Supergirl's side anymore, but I turned a blind eye to it, but I can understand why people didn't.
yeah. But actually, so going back real quick on like visuals and like other stuff. So, do you think like if another director would have been attached to this, not Craig Gillespie, not saying he did horrible. I'm just this is what if, Do you think they probably could have adapted Woman of Tomorrow better? Like, do you think they
Uh,
they would have played it less safe and actually leaned into the more weird stuff?
I mean, that's I can't answer that. Like it just depends on, like, maybe if you had Chris Nolan as a director, maybe, I don't know, but I just don't know the other directors' personalities, like
See, I feel like Chris Nolan would just make it too realistic, and I think it would probably end up. I'm not saying again that the movie's bad, but I think it would probably end up worse than what it is now.
right, I get what you're saying. I'm happy the way it turned out. But there's a few different flaws that could be changed. But overall I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious to see like what you thought, but I actually had another thought.
Yeah.
Dangerous for me to have these thoughts, but what? And again, not throwing shade at Anna Nagara, who wrote the script, the screenplay for Supergirl, but what if Tom King had written the screenplay?
Oh, it would be phenomenal. I think if he had written it, it's a 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 movie. You know what? Now that I think about it, now that we're talking about these, script flaws, I think 8.1 is a little high, especially now that we talked about those few things.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bump it down to a 7.9, but if Tom King has that script, well, hold on. We have to see how he does with Mr. Miracle first, because he has the whole script, right, for Mr. Miracle, the
Yes,
show.
he is the showrunner. He's written every single episode for that show.
So if that turns out, if that's true, I think it's going to be a 9 out of 10. Hopefully I'm right, but yeah, if Tom King had the script for Supergirl, it's a 9 out of 10, definitely.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. Now, I will say I don't know if I'd want him writing the whole movie because I do feel like as a co-writer, like with Anna, I think that would be phenomenal
Hmm.
because I feel like he would have probably preserved some of like the emotional weight that was in the comic. Um, but I also think it would have been maybe too depressive
I can see that.
if it
And
was just him. Because I mean, we've gone over some comics that he's done, and yes, they do tend to be very traumatic, very sad, grief related, like I mean, depressive.
right. Yeah, they do.
But again, I'm gonna go back to this just because it's the same thing I keep hearing in like other people's like videos that I see or reactions or reviews that I see, and it goes back to like script issues, and I think that is getting a lot of unjust hate. Like if you don't like a certain thing that happened, like me personally, I thought the jokes were funny,
I did too.
especially the bus scene with Seth Rogen where she asked him just like could you get any closer to the sun and then he's like what is it
If I had engine or balls,
or
but I
balls
have
but
neither.
I yeah I was just
Yeah,
like so
that was funny.
I thought the jokes were funny. Apparently I guess a good majority of people did not think that the jokes were funny.
Lobos's jokes were funny. I thought those were the funniest.
Maybe people need to get a better sense of humor, but that's just me. But I feel like a lot of people are being very nitpicky with Supergirl with the scripts because like I've seen Mandalorian Grogu, I've seen Masters of the Universe, and you can't tell like by the way, those have better Rotten Tomato scores and like by audience and whatnot, and are rated just higher in general. But you can't tell me that like Masters of the Universe, I don't know if you've seen it, Chris.
No, I meant to, but I haven't seen it.
Like the dialogue is okay, and like there's just far too many jokes. Like there's just far too many jokes that just do not, they're cringe, is
Y-
essentially.
And in Supergirl, there wasn't an overload of jokes. It was just
Yeah.
sporadic.
No, like it's just cringy. And with
Right.
Mandalorian Grogu, like I mean, it's the movie is literally just 3 episodes stuck together.
Yeah.
Like that was there was really no story there. It was
Mm.
just kind of a visual spectacle. So I feel like people are being very harsh on Supergirl. I don't know if it's because DCU like it just has a very like a magnifying glass to it, especially being the second movie. Um,
See, I've been trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out what is the reason it's getting so much hate. We saw like the box office looked terrible over the weekend.
yeah,
I
which I'm
don't
sad
know.
about.
Yeah,
Um,
and I can't figure out a reason as to why people are hating it so much. It said it was less box office than Morbius. You know,
yes. Like
that's insane.
there are so many movies that like people have rated higher than Supergirl that have been abysmal. And
Because
like I'm not saying the critics are like wrong, they have their own opinions. While I do think they are wrong. But if you're going to criticize Supergirl for like its script and like other things, do that for other movies as well, cuz I feel like again, they've been a lot harsher on Supergirl. Like I've seen some of the reviews and it's just like god damn, it's like Supergirl did something to like their family or something.
yeah, I mean like there could be a multitude of reasons, right? Like number one, it came out in the summer. I don't think that should help it, right? You would
Well,
think.
I will say the only problem was it came out the weekend after Toy Story, and it's going to come out a week before, or weekend before Minions, which are two big
Right.
hitters.
That's
So
fair.
that might have, be why it's also not doing so great. But that
And
was more studio thing, really, than anything.
do you think that like over the last 6 years we've had a lot of movies about like women power and like promoting that and pushing an agenda. Do you think people thought because the title is Supergirl that it was going to be
Supergirl.
another one of those cases where it's like just woman power when it was not that at all. It was not
I
that at
could
all.
I could see that just because yeah, in the recent years we've had some that have kind of blatantly like thrown it
Like She-Hulk, which was
in your
fucking
face.
that
I
was
haven't
awful.
watched She-Hulk, so I can't say anything about it. I'm taking your word for it.
That was the worst case of like pushing an agenda for woman power. But Supergirl, that it was not like that
Yeah, no,
at all.
Supergirl was just I mean, she's just badass. Like it was
Yeah.
essentially like, hey, like like there's a certain way to go about like grief
Yep.
and like revenge. Like revenge is not always going to be the best case scenario. It's actually going to make things worse because
Yeah.
once you get your revenge, what do you have? It doesn't bring like your family back or anything
Hmm.
like that. So it had an underlying message. And can I say what was the line? When she said you don't have to be nice to be good.
Yes.
That line, I was like, wow, okay, that's actually like that's a really good message. Like you don't have
Hmm.
to be nice to be good.
And I tell you what, the movie had a few good messages as well. Speaking of grief and stuff like that. At the end, when Ruthie ultimately decides herself not to kill Krem, so she breaks down in Supergirl's arms and she goes, "Now walk away before you change your mind." Like it's such a simple line, but it's like it's so real because even though we have moments of like choosing the higher ground, it's only temporary, and we have to take ourselves away from that situation before we change our mind. And that, I mean, I think that's such a good lesson, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, me personally, I don't think the script was the issue. I mean, unless people are complaining more so like how I said, the story is just a lot more condensed. So like obviously in the comic, there's certain sections, like for example, let's talk about like the Krypton flashbacks. Like me personally, the flashbacks were great. Like
Fantastic.
they were not kidding when they said that like there were some emotional moments in there, especially between her and her dad.
Yeah, where she goes, oh, why are you letting me live? I'm just one insignificant life. Her dad goes, no, you're not. You're your mother's life. You're my life. Like, you're my world.
Yeah, like that right there, I was just like, damn, okay. But in a like also, like I mean, I will say like I did want to see, you know how in the comic you have the meteor shower, or actually before that, you they show her putting like the metal plating down on the ground. And then as time goes by, like people slowly keep getting sick and sick. So then it's just her keep like hammering metal plating down just to kind of show how, she's kind of been surrounded by all this death essentially. And then the meteor shower in the end where they just destroys all the metal plating. And then people just again keep get sick again. So I kind of wish they would have added that, but again, it would have added more emotional depth, but I still think it was able to hit the emotion it was trying to convey, if that makes
And
sense.
that does make sense. I agree. One more critique I have is the green yellow planet. In the book, they specified how Superman was on a green planet, and after 30 minutes, he almost died. And I think Kara was there 9 hours in the book, and she
Yeah,
barely made it.
something
And
like that.
you could feel that she was about to die in the book. But in the movie, you never felt like she was gonna
Yeah,
die.
you never really felt that, and I really would have wished they would have done it a bit differently. Because the whole, and I think we talked about this, her getting tricked twice.
Oh yeah, that's
Um,
come on. How
where
did she get tricked twice?
she got tricked. What was it, Bilquis, where she went with the couple and then took the sip and had the answer, the paralytic or whatever.
Speaking of that trick, Lobo specifically asked him, um, where are the what do they call them? Oh,
Brigands.
Lobo's Lobo specifically asked them where are the brigands, and they basically just said no, we don't know. And then when Supergirl asked, they're like, oh yeah, we can tell you. Like, is that not a red flag?
I think the red flag was when she looked over and saw that the guy was talking to the Squidward looking dude.
Okay, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But she got easily tricked, and even us as the audience is like, well, hold on, Lobos is way more intimidating. They didn't tell Lobos.
Yeah.
How are they gonna
And
think?
like
You know?
I will say there were some moments where I mean it was predictable. And I think it was also predictable because again we read the comic, so we kind of knew how it was going to be structured and what
Yep.
was going to come like, next. But yeah, it was like predictable in the sense it's like, oh, we know that's going to be poisoned and then you're going to be paralyzed and like all of this. But then going back to the Barringer planet, where it's the green and yellow sun, I I just really wish they would have done that part a little bit differently.
And all that felt like was just they used the Green Planet as a plot point for where it trapped Supergirl temporarily so Ruthie could go do her own thing. That's what
Yeah,
it felt like.
yeah, yeah, because in the comic, it's more so like, it's
Mental strength.
mental strength. Like, you felt like Supergirl was going to die. And I'm gonna hammer it again. I wanted my goddamn dinosaurs. I wanted to see Ruthie fight some dinosaurs
Yeah.
protecting Supergirl because I feel like that also would have like really solidified um like the relationship that they had built.
Yeah.
But again, you can only do so much with a movie that's less than 2 hours.
Right.
And apparently, by the way, the movie was actually that there's like 3 hours, but it had to be cut down.
Oh,
So they
Jesus.
cut a lot of it out. So I'm kind of curious, like what things were cut out, and maybe eventually we'll get like a director's cut. Who knows? I was gonna ask. So, do you think that comic book movies are getting judged differently now?
Mm, no, I think people judge them the same. Comic book adaptations or just superhero movies in general?
Just superhero movies in general.
No, people will always be harsh on super movies because they think it's an overused trope, and I don't know why they like to hate on them. I'm really don't know. They're so much fun, you know.
Yeah. And again, like I said earlier, I'm gonna go back to the same thing. Like I did my own little research because I was just like, how is this movie being received so poorly, especially by critics? I mean, audiences, they're like 76, 77 on Rotten Tomato. I think Supergirl right now is at a 55 with critics. IMBD is, I think, at a 6.1. Letterbox is, I think, around the same. And so I'm like looking up like other movies that I'm like, all right, what the hell? Like me personally, Supergirl was better than a lot of DCU movies. Like
A
it
lot of, like
maybe that's just me, but like I preferred this movie over Man of Steel, over Batman versus Superman, Justice League.
let me ask you
All
this. Nick, try name one DC EU movie that is better than Supergirl. I can't.
see, I can.
Okay. How
But
many? Just one or
no, one, two, so Wonder Woman, I do think that was a great movie. The third act was okay. But I did like what they did with Wonder Woman. Now the sequel to that, horrible. Which by the way is rated better than Supergirl. Um,
Insanity?
then Blue Beetle. Eh, I think Blue Beetle and Supergirl to me are kind of on the same level because both of them had their issues. Um, but I don't know if you've watched Blue Beetle.
No.
No. Okay. To me, I think Blue Beetle and Supergirl are kind of in that same level. Um,
But I did watch Wonder Woman and I disagree with you. Supergirl is better than the DCEU Wonder Woman.
Interesting. What about because technically this is still set in the DCU, the Suicide Squad.
That's
That one I got
okay.
I give to the Suicide Squad
No,
because
see, okay, this might be a hot take. I still give it to Supergirl.
really,
Suicide
huh?
Squad, it was good. It was a good movie. It was fun, but it was very like it was almost too fun to where I was like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like it was too fun, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of jokes in there, even though they were good jokes.
Yeah,
But I just the tone in Supergirl, the lesson, and the sporadic jokes, I just thought were better.
yeah. There really wasn't a lesson in the Suicide Squad aside
There was
from
not.
go kill the freaking big star or whatever.
And entertainment wise, Suicide Squad was great, but you know,
Oh
like
yeah, I've watched that movie so many times.
from a like feel good, like you know, like oh my God, I kind of it was worth watching.
Yeah.
Supergirl.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Actually, since we were talking about like DCU, now that you asked me, what MCU movies would you say Supergirl is better than?
Well, there's a lot of MCU movies that are better than Supergirl. I won't list them all off, but I'll say it's in the, I can give it what region it's in. Um, I
I
enjoyed Supergirl better than Iron Man 3. I enjoyed it better than,
Captain Marvel.
I definitely enjoyed it better than Captain Marvel.
What
Um,
about the second Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness?
okay, so I would put it, Doctor Strange 2 had a lot of flaws. I would say Supergirl is definitely above Doctor Strange 2. Um, and this might be a hot take, but if someone gives me the choice, hey, do you want to watch Black Panther or Supergirl? I'm gonna watch Supergirl.
Okay.
So that's
that's
kind of the
that's
region
that's
I have it.
definitely a hot take.
That's kind of the region I have it.
Okay, interesting. Now, I think I know which one you're gonna say because I know you talked to me about this one. But going based off last year's movie, I know you said you did prefer Supergirl more than Superman, right?
Yeah,
What about
only
Fantastic
slightly.
Four?
Ooh, um, I
Because I can't
enjoyed
because I can't remember if you enjoyed Fantastic Four more than Superman or
I
not
enjoyed Fantastic Four. I want
until
to
the ending.
say until the ending, the way they defeated Galactus was kind of silly, but um, I want to say they're all in the same region, but I do have Supergirl above the three of them. Or sorry, of the three of them, I have Supergirl on top.
Okay. What about Thunderbolts?
Hmm. I don't know. I just think Supergirl. Maybe I have some sort of bias. I don't know. Maybe it's recency bias, but like just the lesson of Supergirl, sure, the lesson in Thunderbolts is like I don't know, something
Yeah,
like
I will say I do have Thunderbolts and Supergirl kind of like right now because both of them had a pretty like deep message. Like it wasn't story driven. It was character driven.
yeah, definitely
That
was
makes
character
sense.
driven.
And I think I enjoy. I feel like movies resonate a little bit better with me if they're character driven.
Yes, I agree.
Um, and then I don't even need to ask you, but Captain America, Brave New World.
Oh my God, that movie was so bad. Jesus, it was so bad. I don't ever mention that movie to me again.
Well, at least we know what how you feel about that.
Yeah, I wanted to like it too. I really did.
But since we got that out of the way, how so after Superman, after Peacemaker season 2, after Supergirl, how are you feeling about like the DCU in general?
Oh, I've been confident since James Gunn was announced, and then sure enough, I was be surprised if Superman didn't deliver, and it did. You know, he delivered on Peacemaker, delivered on Creature Commando, Supergirl delivered. I think I maybe it didn't deliver to people's expectations, but it delivered
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. That's I can definitely agree that it delivered enough to again, I think people are just being too harsh. Just like, oh no, Supergirl's like sucked, was bad. The whole DCU is ruined. No, like we still have Creature Commando season 2 coming. We have Lanterns. We have Clayface. We have Man of Tomorrow, which I'm so excited for. We have Mr. Miracle. A
Can't wait.
Paradise Lost, Booster Gold. We even have like Batman Part 2 and like other DC projects. Like I think we're good. And especially this year, I think Lanterns and Clayface, maybe I'm being too confident, but I think they're going to be universally liked. I think they're going to be praised, especially Clayface.
Clayface, very excited for it. That's one that needs to be different, that needs to be brave. But you know, it's great. DC is great.
Yeah. And I was about to say, take it from a guy, me, I do have a little bit of DC bias because that's always been my main. But like Chris, I mean, you've been as of recently, you used to be more of a Marvel guy.
Oh, I was more Marvel. I never cared for DC. I thought Superman was boring. I thought Batman was boring.
And
Um,
yeah, that's DCU's fault. DCEU's fault.
yeah, I hated all the DCEU movies. I genuinely did not like a single one. Um, and since the DCU, since I started reading the comics, the DCU kills in the comics. Like Marvel's comics they're trash right now. They're trash. So the
Yeah, I was
yeah.
about to say, especially if you compare like the absolute universe. I mean,
Hmm.
DC's just killing. I mean, hell, the absolute Batman
Oh,
freaking animated series. Like
how exciting is that?
I was not expecting them that to do that so quickly.
So quickly. And that's
Um,
what you got to do, man. Build off the hype. That is just
yeah, like
so
we're
exciting.
DC. We're I think we're eating good. I think people are just overreacting. Um, again, are there certain things that maybe could have worked better or whatever? Yes, but completely trashing like Supergirl in the DCU just because maybe it didn't meet your expectations or maybe because again Supergirl's not performing well. I don't think that means that the whole universe is ruined. Look at the early MCU movies like Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, all those weren't like 700, 800 billion-dollar movies. Um, so I'm just gonna keep reiterating that. But
Yeah.
Another question I had. So if you had never read the comic Woman of Tomorrow, what would your score be?
I reckon it would be lower. I reckon I'd say 7, 7.1 because the message wasn't as strongly portrayed. We already knew the message going in, and yeah,
Yeah, I think I do have to agree with you on that. I think it probably would have been a little bit lower just because we were familiar with the comic. So I guess now that we're saying that, I mean, I guess it makes sense why some of the casual viewers, like thought it was just okay. Some really enjoyed it. Um, Others were just straight up bad. And if you have like an actual critique about it and not just, oh, this movie sucked, like fine. But again, I think this movie is just getting unjustly hated on. Um, and hopefully it picks up. And
yeah,
actually, this actually leads into like the next thing I was gonna say. Um, I actually, um, I don't think this movie is gonna age the way people think it is. I think like 5 years from now, people are actually gonna like Supergirl more than they do today.
I agree with that. I think it has a lot of meaning behind it, and it's deep. It's not shallow,
Yeah,
so I'd agree with
and
that.
I also think it's because, yeah, I'm in social media a lot. So every time there's been like a new Supergirl movie, everybody always goes back to defend the old Supergirl and doesn't want to do anything with the new Supergirl. Like no one, when Sasha Kaye, the one that was in the Flash, which, by the way, also did better than Supergirl. Don't know how. There were some good bits, but Jesus. Um, a lot of people were just like, "Oh no, Sasha Kaye is my Supergirl," because Millie Alcock got announced, and then before that, when Sasha Kaye got announced, everybody was like, "Oh, Melissa Benoit." I can't say her name right. The Supergirl TV show. It kind of goes like back and back and back. So I think in the future, people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is actually like a good Supergirl movie," and maybe not overreact as much.
Yeah,
But that's
I
that's just me.
no, I agree.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
No, I just think it was a really good movie, and people are overreacting, and you're gay as well.
All right, way to throw that in there. Yeah, I was about to say, like on second watch, like I feel like it actually made me appreciate the movie like more emotionally than 4DX because we were getting fucking tossed around in the chairs. We couldn't really appreciate every single scene. And whoever is saying that like Kara or Ruthie or Lobo, like whoever's saying that they weren't portrayed well, at least, what's wrong with you? Like
I know.
freaking Momoa and Eve and Millie, like they did amazing. I feel like Eve, yes, she was standout, dude. She was straight out of the comics. Um, like it's what I would have imagined her being like and sounding like. For some reason, I guess she sounded British in my head. Um, but yeah, like the emotional moments, actually landed a little harder on like the second watch, but the adaptation issues were a little bit, I guess, clearer the second time around. So
Hmm.
that's why I guess I went a little bit lower to like a 7.4, 7.5. But the comic has more room for that. The more imagination, more stuff to explore.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's probably the biggest takeaway. Form your own opinions. Do not listen to the critics. Don't listen to us. I mean, we're just two guys who have our own opinions. Go see it for yourself. Go form your own opinions on it and enjoy it, like it, think it's okay. Maybe you think it's bad. That's cool. You're wrong, but whatever. If you've seen Supergirl, let us know like where you landed. Like, did you think it was just an okay movie? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you think it actually felt true to the comic? Did you like the changes from the comic? Do you think the ending worked for you? Because I know there's some people that weren't a fan of the ending because it, I guess, destroyed the meaning of the whole thing. Where would you rank Supergirl with all the DCU projects we've had so far? Actually, since I mentioned that, where would you put Supergirl in all the DCU projects?
Uh, Let me let you answer that because I have them all in the same region. It just depends on my mood.
Interesting.
I don't
Okay.
think any are significantly below or above the other.
Okay. So me personally, like unfortunately, Supergirl is last.
Oh, okay.
Um, I have Superman all the way up top. Then I have it's a tight race between Peacemaker season 2 and Creature Commandos. It really just depends how I feel. Because both of those were so great. And then Supergirl. We've only had 4 projects. So I mean, eventually Supergirl probably won't be the last, I'm sure. Um, but anyways, we're always down to like keep the conversation going. So like again, if you have any thoughts, if you disagree with us, if you agree with us, please let us know. As long as you're actually talking about the movie and don't, like just force hate or anything down in the comments. Keep it positive, keep it honest, keep it
Or you can
respectful.
be negative. I don't care.
Or okay, or you can be negative. He doesn't care. But yeah, if you enjoyed hanging out with us, like make sure to follow us. But yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one.